there is an increased focus on protecting Black people. So I sat down with my friend, Brandon Derrick Gilbert, who is the founder of the Men of BLX. As a high school educator, he uses his own experience as a Black male who was educated in the U.S. public education system to turn around and protect his students. In this conversation, we discuss doing racial equity work as Black educators and how to sustain ourselves. One of the things I want to get into more is what has it been like for you growing into your consciousness about your race as a Black man in America and as an educator?
You know, there's a lot of intersections in that question. You know, being a Black male, then also being an educator, a black person, a male, and then also an educator. So, and then to add even more value to that, I'm also a father. So yeah. You know, with all those tiers of introspection, it's like it is a gumbo of emotion. It's a gumbo of emotion because I realize that while I am dealing with this mirror of who I am, finding out who I am, I have to also then make sure that I am centered and present enough to be a father every day, right? To be a father and also to be an educator every day, right? A coworker, right? I have to sift through what I am feeling and dealing and what I'm finding out about myself in a way to where I can deal with it, but I'm also still present and friendly enough because that's a plight. That's like a plight for me to be friendly when you find out what happened. just to be cool, and when you see the injustices and how it's a systematic thing, right? This is planned, right? They're not surprised because this was the plan. This is their plan the whole time. So they're not surprised at it. We're outraged. But to realize how much planning went into making sure there was this systemic racism, this systemic issue, this plight against Black and brown people goes forth as planned, man, it angers me, right? So I have to be okay with being angry, right? But then also exploring ways to deal with my anger in a way that is fruitful for my kids. So I have to impart the rage to my kids in a way that they can use that as fuel, right? So I'm telling my daughters, you know, so ladies, you are the best, you're the fastest, you're the strongest. There is no one who can beat you. Zero. They don't exist. They just don't exist. And that passion of rage, I'm passing it, I'm alley-ooping it to my kids, but in a way that's empowering. So it's a lot of intrinsic work that I have to do, sitting with where I am, sitting with it, because it's a gumbo of emotion. I'm proud, but I'm also enraged. I am afraid, but I'm also empowered, right? So it's a lot that goes on in that headspace once you're finding out what the true Hollywood story really is about you and your people.
That's beautiful, though, to take this idea of turning fear and rage into power.
What I'm experiencing now, too, sis, is how you have your white friends who they get called and they say things like, listen, whatever you need, you know, I'm there, you know, and you're like, with the pregnant pause and everything. So you're like, thank you, got you. We've needed things for quite a long time, but I'm glad you did call.
Yeah.
Right, I'm glad you called. But here's the question: what do you think I need? And we'll just start there. Well,
yeah.
I don't. Yeah. So once you find out what I think, what you think I need, call me, because when we have children and that baby cries, that infant baby cries, we do a few things. We try to coddle it, to comfort it, right? Cool, got you. Or we try to feed it. Maybe there's gas in the chest when you give it a birth, cool. But at no point in time is that baby saying, listen, this is exactly what I need to do this right here. We figured it out. You figured it out because you're a kid and you love. Right? So if you love a person enough, I don't know what you need, but I'm going to do everything I think I need to do to make you feel comfortable. I'm going to figure it out. And once I get it, I'll stay right there in that lane. So go do that. Don't ask me. Don't, because your babies don't tell you. You figure it out.
Yeah. And I like that analogy because focusing on if you love me, not to say you figure it out, but you're invested enough to make it a priority to understand my needs.
Sure.
And there's even this idea that, are you really my friend if you don't have more than a how are you to offer?
So you, sis, I remember when I think we may have been in Providence or somewhere else, and this was right on the cusp. No, I think it was DC.
Yeah.
Right on the cusp of, we're getting ready to come back, and you were talking about next steps. So you were talking about hubby, and we're talking about just making sure, I take care of myself. And I just really value, like, the care in which you put yourself in high regard, right? Because I know for me, and I'm not even sure if this is whiteness or not, but I struggle.
It might be Christianity.
It you know what? It could be that, because I'm just where I'm going. So here we go. We got you're good at this, that, and the third in ministry, and you're always giving your time, right? You're always giving your time, and you're always giving your talents, and it's all in the name of the Lord. But you're just spent. When I say you're spent, I mean I'm just spent. Like the hours are running together tonight. Like you're just burning at both ends of the candlestick. So, one of the things that I don't want to crack. I know it's real sensitive. So one of the things that
you can. It's
don't
safe.
do that. Okay. Because it's a real serious thing. That question you're asking me is really therapeutic, because I can't say I'm the best person or the best advocate for taking care of D. Like I don't know if I do that the most, and I think it's always in the name of the Lord, in the name of love for my parents and my community, that I just keep on going, and I just don't stop. But one thing you said to me was that I saw you and you were talking about how you were going to move and how much work you had done here in West Palm, but what was more important was your peace. That thing shook me. I'm like, woman, that's it. Keep that peace.
It's hard.
Woo! Keep that peace. Like, when you find that vein of peace, like, it's okay not to be available.
Yeah. The Lord hath called you to sleep, to be hydrated, and to minister to your family first.
I love it.
And you can't do that if you're empty.
Right.
And if God has called us to do racial equity work, which is a whole nother beast.
I promise.
You have to have some deep wells to pull from.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to make it.
Right.
And so I actually believe that you have some self-care practices. You just don't call them self-care practices. Right. And it might be spending time with your family. Oh,
that's so right. That's true. Balance, right?
Yeah.
Balance. I think that's kind of where I was about to go, because once I leave the job, what I tell myself is I will pick this up tomorrow. Right. And I don't necessarily change that hat, but I kind of put my best foot forward when I get home, because I am turning up for the Gilbert kids when I get to the house. Like I'm turning up for DD Gilbert. That's happening tonight. I'm doing. That's like my job. Like I'm looking forward to being with my family. Talking to my son Kay, BB, Bailey. Like talking with them about life and kind of just going outside. I built something outside, sis, and I feel good about it too.
Yeah,
so this
that's
quarantine,
self-care, having a project.
This quarantine has like pulled out Johnny the Fix-It Man in me.
Right, Johnny Fix It.
So I built a fireplace outside, right, sitting area with the bricks, and the wood, in case may be. But I also took the next level and I built an outside movie theater, right. Ooh. So here we have a huge screen, and I had I got a couple projections from church, so what I say. Mm-hmm. So I throw it up, and then we would have a movie night. Sis, when I tell you my kids lit up when they saw that, I'm telling you, I was an absolute man of the decade. I'm telling you, I won. And I felt so good just being with my family. And I think that's what I need when it comes down to self-care. Like, I am going to do this work, and I'm committed to it because I love people and I love God. Gotcha. Make no mistake. But I think when I am performing or I'm coaching a team of people, whether it be adults or students, my first team is my family. Right, so that's like crazy important that I give the brunt of my time to my first team. Yeah. Because whether I get fired from my job, or people at the job turn their back on me, or students matriculate and they become seniors and they go on to the next level, I still have my family. Right, so I have to pour into them. So being with them gives me a shutdown that I need.
Teacher friends, part of our work as educators is to protect our students, to advocate for our students. And in that same way, we should be advocating for ourselves, especially if we've been doing racial equity work for quite some time, or if you're an educator who happens to be a person of color, specifically a Black person in the United States of America. Make sure that you subscribe, like this video, tap the bell so you can get notifications, and be aware of new videos as we put them out. Thank you for everything that you've been doing to help grow our channel. Take care, teacher friends.